All right, I wanted to get around to this yesterday, but I couldn't get around to it today. We're going to talk about and break down the Michigan 2020 football schedule. It's an all Big Ten schedule. No Middle Tennessee, no Washington's, no out of conference schedules this year. I think we're supposed to start playing Washington this year, at a home with them. I don't know if we was going to Washington or not. So, one thing about these all conference schedules is probably going to be coming on. Pretty sure the SEC and Pac-12 are going to be following in the. What is the Big Ten? What is it now? It's the what is it called? I forget what the other one is called. The one with Oklahoma and Texas in it. They didn't change it so many times over the course of my lifetime. But yeah, let's Big 12 is it? I don't know what it's called. But let's talk about the schedule. But the thing about it that's really interesting is that this year you can't take no L. You ain't gonna be able to take no L, especially if your team don't have or your conference don't have a championship game. So most conferences have converted over to championship games. I remember at one point Michigan, Big Ten didn't have a championship game. We yet to win a Big Ten championship since that game. So let's talk about it, man. Week 1, they start off with Purdue, but make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Purdue was giving Ohio State hell, like every other year. So we started off versus them at home. Probably not gonna have any crowds. And Ann Arbor. Then the next week we go to Minnesota. We take on Minnesota in Minneapolis, I meant to say. And then the following week it is Penn State. And Minnesota is a football program. Let's talk about them first. That is really on the come up. They did really, really well last year. And not sure, how they replenished the guys that they lost last year. I think they had an Antoine Winfield kid that played there at safety. He got drafted in the second, third round or late first. Can't remember. But Minnesota is a program that's going to help up, the way they're going. They're going to boost the Big Ten's prestige. If they can be contenders year in and year out, and when out-of-conference play starts back in hopefully next year, they're going to be a team that's going to be able to make the Big Ten that much better. And then playing Minnesota at Minnesota, then playing Penn State. We lost to Penn State last year. We made somewhat of a comeback. I think it was Nico Collins at the night game who dropped the ball in the end zone. And or was it Ronnie Bill? One of them. We could have came back, but Shea Patterson was just so bad last year. And it was just hard to overcome him. I argued with somebody on a Facebook thread a couple weeks ago about Shea Patterson. He swore he was good. But anybody that know football, which this guy didn't, know Shea Patterson. It just wasn't a good quarterback. He held him back. And Jim Harbaugh is a man of his word. He didn't want to bench Shea Patterson, but it would have helped get Dylan McCaffrey those reps, at least, or Joe Milton those reps, because they would have been prepared this year. But but Penn State is always a tough team. Coach Franklin always, I think that's their coach name, James Franklin, always got them in position to be tough. That's going to be a tough game. That's 2 tough games back to back, Minnesota and Penn State. I got respect for both of those franchises, man. So, and also that damn cup on the line with Minnesota, then Rutgers. We played them in Jersey, so I mean that should be an easy win. I don't even know why they came to the Big Ten. Then we played Michigan State at Ann Arbor. Now I think we supposed to play Michigan State at Michigan State, so I don't know why they didn't play there. I seen an article, but I didn't get a chance to read it. But once again, that's always a big game. That's a game that can kind of, as we're going through the pandemic, and gonna raise some morales up, especially the team that win, and that's gonna be October 3rd. So it's gonna be funny not seeing fans at that game, and the build up is basically gonna be on social media. But it's always a big game, no matter how sorry Michigan is or how sorry Michigan State is. That's a good game, but I think we should steamroll over Michigan State again this year. But it depends on who healthy, who not. But what's different between pros and college is, I think college got better depth than the pros as far as, quarterback play. You might have 3 5-stars or 3 4-stars, or 5 or 4 and a 3-star, and they all talented and they can play. In the NFL, it's not too many talented quarterbacks, let alone talented backup quarterbacks that can right the ship. So that's what make it better. You got 3 or 4 running backs. I got Chris Evans coming back this year. Charbonnet, I think, who's going to be a freaking star this year. So, I think Michigan will be fine in the depth department if somebody do get COVID. But it's hard to stop a COVID break when your team is as big as a football team. You know what I'm saying? You carrying, red shirts sometimes. You carrying people that's injured. So I think the injured players going to not be allowed on the sideline. Obviously, the celebrities won't be allowed on the sideline, and the alumni, unless some fans are brought back in some capacity. We play Indiana. Indiana always play us tough. At least last time I remember, one year, a couple years ago, they played us real tough. Indiana got a lot of talent. I remember they used to recruit at one of the high schools I played with, and we'll be in Bloomington, and they gave us a tough game last year. I think that's the only game I didn't have a reaction to last year. I think I missed. I think we were celebrating something. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, Indiana's always a tough squad. Like underrated tough. They got just enough talent, man, and they just ain't been able to put it all together. Even in basketball no more, they suck. But then this is the big one. We had Columbus, Ohio, October 24th. With no fans. It's not the last game of the year. That's what I don't like about it. So we might win the last game of the year because it's versus Northwestern. But with this one, they still got that boy at quarterback, Justin Fields. They still got a tremendous amount of 5-star, 4-star recruits. It's a tough game. Every year we play Ohio State, I cry we lose. All right, you gotta respect them. It's no longer a rivalry, even though we still got more wins overall than they do. They just on a different level. They want elite football teams in the country. And if we want to be an elite football team, we got to dominate this schedule. We got to dominate the Big Ten. When non-conference play come back, we got to dominate non-conference play. We got to dominate Ohio State. We got to beat them and then worry about dominating them. But right now, they one of the elite programs in the country. It's Alabama, it's Clemson, Ohio State. They got to be the top three. You know what I'm saying? And LSU is like, they coming. They just never really had elite quarterback play. But playing them October 24th, at least we won't lose the last game of the year. At least I expect so. But Ohio State is a dominant team. I don't like us playing them October 24th. I like playing them the last game of the year. I wasn't usually right after Thanksgiving or something like that. I enjoy that football game in that time period. I think they should have kept that. They should have kept that. They should have found a way to make Ohio State and Michigan the last game of the year. And who knows, by that time the election over with, you may have, fans that could be in the capacity in Columbus though. But it's also going to be funny seeing, not seeing the red and not seeing the maize and blue. It's going to be funny not seeing that this year, man. And whoever thought this pandemic would ever come and basically wreak havoc across the country, man. It's crazy, man. But I hope all these guys are safe. But, I'll take a win over Ohio State any day. Fans, no fans, crackheads in the stands, Justin Fields and I'll take a win however I'm going to get it, man. So, that's an interesting one. I don't like them playing October 24th, though. I like it to be the last game of the season. And then a week later, they play Wisconsin, another one of the teams that's really, really good and that dominated us last year. They blew us out. I'll never forget that ass kicking. So, that's a tough schedule. You know what I'm saying? Michigan State, Indiana, Ohio State, Wisconsin. So, Harbaugh got to cut off for him. Wisconsin played good physical football. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor left to the league. He with the Indianapolis Colts. That's a tough schedule. That's a really, really tough schedule, man. So, I don't know what Wisconsin's going to be like this year. Obviously, they lost Quintez Cephas to the Lions. They lost Jonathan Taylor to the Colts. But they always a football team that reload, and they do really, really well. Then it kind of get a little bit easier for them. We had Ann Arbor for Wisconsin, though. And then November 7th, we played Maryland. They coming along. They got Tua Tagovailoa, little brother, and the former Alabama offensive coordinator. It's his second year there. Him and Josh Gaddis kind of had some words last offseason as well. And Gaddis kind of, stumped his head in the dirt in Maryland. And then we end off in Evanston, Illinois versus Northwestern, November 21st. So, and then the Big Ten championship game is December 5th, Indianapolis. So, it's a tough schedule, man. They kind of played Michigan with that stretch of Michigan State, Indiana, Ohio State, Wisconsin. I mean, just that stretch. Even though Indiana is a league seen as a stepping stone or a doormat, they're really not a doormat. They kind of like a runner. You know what I'm saying? Your granny used to have a runner where you flip it over. They got the spikes at the bottom. But also, man, started the season off, man. Purdue, okay. But Minnesota and Penn State, that's tough. All right, week 1, week 2, the 12th to 19th, right? Then you go into Rutgers, but then after Rutgers is Michigan State, then it's Indiana, then it's Ohio State, Wisconsin. So, it really ain't no easy real stretch for them, man. Purdue, they okay. Rutgers, but they get the end versus Maryland, Northwestern, bro. But it should be interesting. But Michigan got a lot of talent coming back. They got receivers coming back. They got, Chris Evans coming back, I believe. They got Charbonnet coming back. I'm not sure how many starters and they return on defense, but I'm not sure how I feel. I don't know who's gonna win the quarterback competition, but I'll just be happy to see Michigan football back on. I want to see those fans in the stands. I want to be one of those fans in the stands eventually. But I'd be happy to see Michigan football come back on. But it's a tough schedule. None of the cupcakes in there. The Middle Tennessee States, the Armies. This is a tough schedule. Northwestern is a team that played real tough. They beat Wisconsin a week after we lost to them last year. No matter if you want to say Wisconsin let their guard down. Penn State has been really, really strong. Ohio State is obviously an elite football team in this country. Wisconsin is a strong elite Big Ten team. Minnesota was elite Big Ten team last year. Not sure what they're gonna bring. So this is a tough schedule for the University of Michigan this year. Is it a make or break schedule for Harbaugh? Harbaugh got free reign. Harbaugh can stay at Michigan as long as he wants to. What people got to understand is Michigan has never been an elite football team in this country in a long time the way Ohio State is. One of the reasons is people are saying is that Michigan doesn't offer online classes, and that's how Ohio State get better recruits. Whatever the situation may be, we need to make the adjustment where we need to be that football team. Michigan has a great education, great amenities. Ann Arbor is a great college town. It's not far away from a major city, so if you're a major city guy and you want to hit the club, mess with the thoughts and all that, it's not long from Detroit. It's a 40-minute drive, if that, depending if you speed or not. Michigan need to do better at recruiting. You know what I'm saying? Because they have the money, they have the amenities to recruit. And if they don't do better recruiting, they need to take that money and put it into the basketball program. If the basketball program had the money that that the football program had, Michigan would probably be better than Duke and North Carolina combined. But, it is what it is. I think the schedule is a tough one. It's going to be one of the more tougher schedules that Michigan played this year. But I look forward to it. Let me know what you guys think about the schedule. Don't forget, check out our Michigan playlist, our college sports playlist. We got a Michigan game reaction playlist. I think I missed one reaction game last year for Michigan in the regular season. That's because I think it was the Indiana game. I had something to do. So this year I'll be covering the Michigan seasons, God willing, or the powers that be willing. Depends on who you believe in. But don't forget, check out our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All links in the description. If you got business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests, you can always hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal in the description. CJ Good 313 is the Cash App, but that's in the description. PayPal. Also, check my other channel, Wild Goodfellas Sports TV. It's a great way to donate. We talk some college over there, sports, music, entertainment. Also, just share the video. It's the best way to donate. Let me know what you guys think about the schedule. One time for the one time we gone.